Hello everyone, welcome to the session. Today we are going to discuss the second session of drugs for heart failure. In the last session we have asked two questions, right? The first question is a picture. Yes, he is Oswald Smedberg. He is known as the father of modern pharmacology. He was the one to isolate digoxin from the foxglove plant. For the connections, the answer is Wolff Parkinson White syndrome. Yes, you should not use digoxin in these patients because it can enhance the transmission through accessory pathways and hence can lead to ventricular fibrillation. Now, is there anything significant about September 29? Anything significant about September 29? Yes, World Heart Day is celebrated every year on September 29. In this session, we can have a glance on our first session. We can discuss among the group of drugs like biperdins, beta adrenoceptor agonist, ACE inhibitors, angiotensin receptor antagonist, aldosterone receptor antagonist, vasodilators, beta adrenoceptor antagonist, diuretics, and at last we will be having a question session. Now, the golden points in the last session are mechanism of action of digoxin is sodium potassium ATPase inhibitor. Digoxin is excreted renally. Hence, dose adjustments are needed in patients with renal failure. Digoxin has got a narrow therapeutic index. Most common adverse effects are arrhythmias and vomiting. Hypokalemia increases the risk of digoxin toxicity. In cases of digoxin toxicity, stop digoxin. Potassium infusion is also helpful. Digibind antibodies can be given. Never do cardioversion in these patients. Now, moving on to the group of drugs, biperdins or phosphodiesterase inhibitors. This includes mildrenone, inamnirone, levosimendan, and inoximone. Inamnirone has been withdrawn from the market due to the risk of toxicity. All these drugs are given IV, but these drugs are unstable in dextrose solution. This feature limits their use. Now, the mechanism of action is, as the name suggests, it is going to inhibit the phosphodiesterase enzyme in the cardiac myocyte as well as in the vascular smooth muscles. As the result of inhibition of this enzyme, cyclic AMP degradation is reduced and hence a lot of cyclic AMP is produced. This lot of cyclic AMP is going to help in the contraction of the heart. On the other hand, inhibition of this enzyme in the vascular smooth muscles will cause vasodilation. Oh, then this drug is going to have two effects: inotropy, vasodilator, vasodilator, inotropy. Hence, these drugs are called inodilator drugs. These drugs are called inodilators. Okay, now coming to the uses, these drugs are used in acute heart failure, severe exacerbation of chronic heart failure. These can be used in patients awaiting cardiac transplantation. Coming to the adverse effects, nausea and vomiting, arrhythmias, dose-dependent thrombocytopenia, and liver toxicity may occur. Now, beta adrenoceptor agonist, that is dopamine and dobutamine. These drugs, by having a stimulant effect on the beta receptors in the cardiac muscle, is going to increase the cyclic AMP levels. This increased cyclic AMP is going to increase the contraction of the heart. Now, the uses include heart failure, cardiogenic shock. Low dose dopamine increases the renal blood flow and hence urinary output. It can also increase cardiac output without increasing the heart rate and peripheral resistance. Hence, these drugs are preferred in cardiogenic shock. Okay? These drugs are also preferred in patients with compromised renal functions. Dobutamine is used in dobutamine stress test. This is nothing but a stress ECG test. When dopamine is infused into the body, it mimics the effects of exercise on the heart. This is called dobutamine stress test. Coming to the adverse effects, it increases the myocardial oxygen demand and hence can precipitate myocardial infarction. These drugs can cause arrhythmias, tolerance, or gangrenes. Now, who is she? Yes, Elizabeth Taylor, right? How is she related to today's session? Yeah. She died of heart failure. Good. Now, ACE inhibitors, that is angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. These drugs end with trill, captopril, enalapril, lisinopril, ramipril. All are prodrugs except the captopril and lisinopril. Remember, captopril and lisinopril are not prodrugs. These drugs have shown excellent reductions in mortality in patients with heart failure. These drugs can cause dilation of arterioles and veins. Now, the RAS pathway, that is renin angiotensin aldosterone system pathway. We can have a quick recap, okay? Now, as a result of heart failure, the renal blood flow is decreased. Decreased renal blood flow will cause an increase in renin release. This increased renin release will convert angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. This angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2 by angiotensin converting enzyme. This angiotensin 2 will act on angiotensin receptors and hence will be responsible for the effects like vascular growth, vasoconstriction, and aldosterone secretion. Now, see this situation. ACE, that is angiotensin converting enzyme, will convert angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Simultaneously, it can also convert bradykinin to inactive peptides. Okay, this has a point in adverse effects. We can see that in the further slides. Now, what are the therapeutic targets in this slide? Yes, renin release inhibitors, renin inhibitors like aliskiren, ACE inhibitors, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors, angiotensin receptor blockers, aldosterone receptor blockers. Good. Now, coming to the therapeutic uses of ACE inhibitors, ACE inhibitors have shown excellent reductions in mortality in patients with heart failure. Hence, these drugs are preferred nowadays in patients with heart failure. Angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors will dilate the arterioles and veins, right? Hence, they can be used in hypertension also. They can prevent cardiac remodeling. Okay, these drugs can also be used in myocardial infarction. These drugs can effectively reduce the proteinuria and stabilize the renal functions in patients with diabetic nephropathy. These drugs, by causing ACE inhibition, will have crucial role in the management of scleroderma renal crisis. Coming to the adverse effects of ACE inhibitors, since it causes vasodilation, it can cause hypotension. As a result of ACE inhibition, there is going to be kinin accumulation, right? Bradykinins cannot be degraded to inactive peptides. Hence, bradykinin accumulates in the body to cause dry cough and angioedema. These are dose limiting side effects. In case these side effects appear when you're treating a patient, you should stop the drug. Okay? Now, hyperkalemia is also a common side effect. It can also cause disturbances in taste like dysgeusia. There are many other side effects like neutropenia, metallic taste, vomiting also. Now, ACE inhibitors are contraindicated in bilateral renal artery stenosis, pregnancy, and in patients with elevated serum creatinine levels. Angiotensin receptor antagonists share the common features of ACE inhibitors except that they have less incidence of cough and angioedema. Okay, these drugs end with sartan, telmisartan, candesartan, valsartan, losartan. These drugs antagonize all effects at angiotensin receptors. Now, the other group of drugs, aldosterone receptor antagonist. These drugs are also called potassium sparing diuretics. It includes spironolactone and eplerenone. Remember spironolactone. Okay. Now, As these drugs have been discussed in previous sessions, I will speed up. Okay. These drugs have anti-mineralocorticoid and anti-androgen effects. These drugs increase the salt and water excretion. These drugs reduce cardiac remodeling and hence used in heart failure and hypertension. They can cause hyperkalemia also. Coming on to vasodilators, they can be divided as arteriolar, veno, and both arteriolar and venodilators. Arteriolar dilators like hydralazine reduce afterload. Venodilators like nitroglycerin reduce preload. Arteriolar and venodilators like sodium nitroprusside reduce both preload and afterload. Now, do you think a drug can be approved based on a race? Yes, a combination of hydralazine isosorbate dinitrate is preferred in patients like African American patients. This is the first racially approved drug. This is preferred in renal insufficiency patients. It can effectively reduce cardiac remodeling and hence can prolong the survival of these patients. Adverse effects include for nitrates, it can cause tolerance, hypotension, headache, fatigue, dizziness, and Monday disease may also occur. Hydralazine, it can cause tachycardia, fluid retention, it can cause worsening of the myocardial infarction, it can cause lupus. Sodium nitroprusside can cause hypotension and abdominal pain. Now, is there any common adverse effect between sodium nitroprusside and nitrates? Of course, hypotension due to the nitro and nitrates. Is there something? Yes, these drugs are more prone to cause methemoglobinemia also. Now, there is another vasodilator called neseritide. This is a recombinant brain natriuretic peptide, acts by increasing the cyclic GMP and hence it can cause vasodilation. It is used in acutely decompensated heart failure associated with dyspnea at rest. The most common adverse effect of neseritide is hypotension. Now, sacubitril valsartan combination is also a vasodilator. Sacubitril is a neprilysin inhibitor. What is neprilysin? Neprilysin is a substance that can degrade atrial natriuretic peptide, brain natriuretic peptide, C-type natriuretic peptides, kinins, and substance P into inactive fragments. When neprilysin is inhibited, their degradation is also inhibited. Now, sacubitril is a neprilysin inhibitor. Valsartan is an angiotensin receptor blocker. A combination of these drugs is useful as a vasodilator in chronic heart failure. Now, identify the drug class. LOL. Yes, beta blockers, of course. Beta blockers end with LOL, propranolol, metoprolol, carvedilol, labetalol. What is tramadol? Is tramadol a beta blocker? Find out and put it in the comment box. Okay. Now, coming to the beta blockers, not all beta blockers are used in heart failure. This is a very important point. Only bisoprolol, metoprolol, carvedilol, and nebivolol are used. While using beta blockers, start low and go slow. Start beta blockers with a low dose, and you can increase the dose on further case. Okay. Now, the mechanism of action of beta blockers in heart failure is, in heart failure, due to overstimulation of the heart, there is a lot of circulating catecholamines, right? These catecholamines are associated with hypertrophy, cell death, fibrosis, and arrhythmias. Now, beta blockers can inhibit the mitogenic activity of catecholamines, and hence these drugs reduce the cardiac remodeling. Hence, it is effective in heart failure patients. These drugs can also cause upregulation of beta receptors and can even cause a decrease in heart rate. Now, coming to the adverse effects of beta blockers, bradycardia, bronchoconstriction, hence it should not be used in patients with asthma, heart block, and peripheral vasospasm. There are many other side effects. I have listed the main side effects. Now, coming to diuretics. As diuretics have been discussed as a separate session, I will rush up the important points. Okay. Most commonly used diuretics in heart failure are furosemide, loop diuretics, and thiazides. They decrease sodium chloride reabsorption and they decrease preload and afterload. They decrease pulmonary and peripheral edema and hence used in heart failure associated with edema and can be used in hypertension. It may cause hypokalemia also. Now, what is cardiac resynchronization therapy? It includes biventricular pacemaking and defibrillator. Most of you have seen this picture in Rajarani film, right? These two are important parts in cardiac resynchronization therapy. Now, let us have the question session. The first question, which of the following is a venodilator? Yes, sodium nitroprusside is a venodilator. That is, it is both arterial and venodilator, while other three are arteriolar dilators. Okay. Now, important adverse effect of neseritide is yes, hypotension. Hypotension is an important adverse effect of neseritide. Now, identify the condition. Can we use ACE inhibitors for patients with this condition? Reason out why. Yes, if you know the answers, you can put that in the comment box. Now, the fourth question. I am a neurotransmitter. I am an endogenous catecholamine. My deficiency in basal ganglia leads to Parkinson's disease. I am targeted by most of the antipsychotic drugs. Who am I? Can you use me in cardiogenic shock? Justify. Yes. If you know the answers, you can put that in the comment box. Now, the take home message for today's session is ACE inhibitors. The most common adverse effects are dry cough and angioedema. It is contraindicated in pregnancy. Vasodilators, adverse effect is hypotension. Nitrates can reduce the preload. Beta blockers, bronchospasm can occur as an adverse effect. Hence, it is not used in asthmatics. While using beta blockers, start low, go slow. Now, the pathophysiology of heart failure has taught us a life lesson. What is the pathophysiology of heart failure? The basic pathophysiology is increased workload to the heart and reduced contraction of the heart, right? Similarly, your life will be having a lot of stress. Life is filled with stress and failures. On the other hand, you may be having a lot of negative thinkings. Why should I do that? No. Why? What? Oh God. Hello? Reduce your stress and increase your positive thinking and hence have a happy heart. Now, hope everyone understands the session. If you have any queries or suggestions regarding the session, you can put that in the comment box. Now, until then, it's bye bye signing off from your student teacher. Thank you.